Here it is. Good morning. Just want to call to order. It's the September Oregon Board of Licensed Social Work meeting. Excited everybody is here. Excited that we have members of the public here too. And so my name is Amy Ashton Williams and I'm the co-chair. Just want to call us to order and get things going. So if we can take a moment and review the agenda. And we'll just need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'd like to add an item to the agenda for the alternative pathways. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I just ask for approval at this point? All those in favor?
People have to vote like individually, I think.
To add something to the agenda?
Yeah, can we have discussion around that before we do approval? Is that possible? Is there like something specific that we want to talk about?
I want to make sure that this remains on the agenda until we have an alternative pathways passed. I worry that that for the past 9 months, the Alternative Pathways Committee has been repeatedly removed from the agenda. And our board discussions, every time we've had a discussion about it, I've had to make a movement to have it added to the agenda.
Okay. And like, so is there something specific that we want to discuss today around the alternative pathways?
I would like for us to start making a plan and for us to discuss what that plan is going to look like. So we can prepare for a vote on that.
Would it make more sense for Amy to be part of the discussion?
Well, I imagine that Amy will also be a part of the discussion because I don't think we're going to have a finalized plan at this meeting.
Sure. I guess I'm just wondering I feel like for some reason, I feel like it's cart before horse. And so that's why I don't mind changing that, but I think part of the discussion might be like the cart before horse around.
So since we have new board members who were provided the brief, I would like to be able to have a little bit of discussion about the brief and what's contained in the brief and since the initial writing of the recommendations, the committee was asked to remove a large part of that became the brief. So I'd like to have a discussion around that so that everybody has clarity around what the committee has recommended.
Sure. As a board, have we accepted the recommendation? I don't think that we have. And again, I don't know process, Patty. So that's why I'm just talking out loud because I don't know if I know. I mean, I don't mind putting that on. I just don't know process related to the subcommittee. Then if the board needs to then accept the recommendations or if they say, yes, thank you. We take this and the subcommittee has done their job. Thank you for the information. And then make a determination of what we do going forward. I don't know that process. So that's when I'm looking at you with confusion, it's not your confusion, it's my confusion about what's next.
Well, let's talk about that under the agenda item.
Any other discussion?
Is that going to go under old business?
Well, I think there'd be a vote. They have
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
added to the agenda.
So we have to vote individually, right? So all those in favor, if you
Right.
state your name and say yay or nay.
Stay great.
Or
Abstain, is that an option?
No, you shouldn't abstain from that.
Okay.
No, because you're a board member and it's a motion to add something to the agenda, so there really wouldn't be a basis to abstain.
Okay.
So you should either vote yes or no.
Olivia, yes, or yay?
Patty Farr, yay.
Amy Ashton Williams, yay.
Nicole Kelly, yay.
Now, where do we want to put it?
Business. Old business. Okay, so,
Okay,
sounds like we need a motion to approve the agenda with the new addition.
Motion to approve.
Second. Nicole, sorry.
All those in favor?
Yay?
All those
Nicole,
opposed?
yes.
I think
No
we have to
opposition.
go like name, right? We have to say his name.
Patty Farr,
Doing it.
yay.
Olivia, yay.
Amy, yay.
Nicole Kelly, yay.
What I was gonna mention all that is that some boards, what they do is they do a roll call by the person who's taking the minute.
Right, that's
It says the name and then you just say yay. So you don't have to say your name.
So you'll.
So, yeah.
What? Okay, we'll repeat it. Sorry.
So, yeah, the person that's taking the minutes would just say roll call. They would say the name of the board member and the board member would just say yes. So the board member doesn't have to repeat their name every time when they're voting.
Okay.
And that would also give you time as a note taker to make sure
Be able
you're
to
listening to the
send-
notes, right?
Okay.
That's the change.
I'll do that.
Make it easier.
So there was no opposition. That motion
Yes, it
carried.
was unanimous.
Thank you.
Members.
Dr. Robert? No love of rules.
We don't use Dr. Roberts' rule. So, and no, I'm not knowledgeable about Roberts. So, let's not go there.
There are June 27th, board minutes. That was in our information box. We just need a motion to approve those.
I would like to make an addendum on that under the presentation by the ASWB. Sorry, I don't have her name in front of me. What's the president's name again?
The ASWB
Yeah,
president
Yeah, who
person.
presented.
Is it Stacy or something? Stacy?
So I want to have an addendum on there that states what she said about how the ASWB exam is not meant to protect the public.
I don't
Okay,
recall her.
yeah,
Okay. So there was a discussion that we had in with her where I asked her, I stated that the ASWB exam is meant to protect the public. However, like that, it's questionable whether it does. And she stated that, oh, the ASWB exam is not meant to protect the public.
so what we would have to do, we'd have to go back through the notes to make sure that we're quoting whatever that discussion was specifically, if that's what you want to add to the minutes. And we wouldn't be able to do that now, nor before the next meeting. That'd be impossible.
Okay. So what does it take to get this on there? I feel like this is an important part. that
Yeah, we would do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're asking as a board member if we would go back, back through our materials and find out what that person who did the presentation said specifically about what the ASWB exam means. Okay, but I guess so as far as the board's ability to do its job, how does what the ASWB exam does
Mhm.
affect the board's ability to do its job?
So because the board is meant to protect the public and because the ASWB exam is under question right now through the subcommittee, that the exam is quoted by the president of the ASWB to not be meant to protect the public. A major reason for continuing to use the exam is also called into question.
Yeah, I guess I would say yes, but the alternative pathways was not to call into question an exam. It was to look at,
Mhm.
are there other pathways towards licensure?
Well, this was, I mean, this was what was though, found by the committee was that like there are major questions of, around the exam, what the exam does, and if it does what we need it to do. Which very much had to do with our recommendations.
Sure.
And so like, I feel very strongly that like this edition needs to be in our minutes.
So we won't be able to approve minutes
Right, no.
until,
That's impossible.
until you can vet that.
So we can just go back for the recording.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Sorry to give you all extra work.
And I just want to be right up front and transparent. I'm gonna do the best I can to see if we can get that done
I
before
have
the
a
next
copy,
meeting.
I have a copy of the video and I
Okay.
can also help do that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So if you are willing to take on that work, just send us in the video
Mhm.
where the time frame of where that discussion is.
Definitely.
And that will reduce our work significantly, and that
Mhm.
will be able to help us to
Mm.
accommodate the request to have it done by next meeting.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, can I just say I want to be cautious?
Mhm.
Because when we start quoting folks, then we'll end up with board minutes with lots and lots of quotes.
We don't have
of some
a quotation, but rather just like we can paraphrase what she said about this.
We'll move, no approval of minutes. We'll get to that at our next, hopefully at our next board. meeting.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm not gonna make that promise because
Yeah.
we got 2 weeks and there's a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done between now and those 2 weeks. But hopefully with
Oh, yeah.
Patty's assistance, we can get that taken
I can
care
get
of. So I will do
this
everything I
for you.
can to see if we can get that done by next week.
Okay. Next on the agenda are board elections. This board elects a chair and a co-chair.
Vice Chair.
Vice Chair.
Thank you. So before we do that, I do just need to talk about committee appointments. So that Olivia's been appointed to the continuing ed and the licensing exam committee, and that Nicole has been appointed to the CPC. So I just wanted to announce that because we had that discussion. And so now we just need to open it up for nominations for the chair and the co-chair.
I would like to nominate Molly as the chair.
I'd like to nominate Amy Ashton Williams as the chair.
Kyle, do we take those one by one?
Well, typically the board has required there be a second to a nomination because in order to vote on it, you'd have to have a second.
I got
And
you.
if there isn't a person that will second the nomination, then you would move forward.
Would it make sense to have discussion before the second?
Well, typically you would have discussion after the second.
Oh,
Because if you don't have a second, then you aren't able to move forward with that nomination.
So I'd like to nominate Molly. Patty, do I have a second?
Second, Molly.
And do you want to have discussion?
well, it's probably been, I don't know.
If that-
Continuing with nominations.
You could have I mean, typically you would have all the nominations and then you have a discussion about all of them. It's up to the board. I mean, you could do it one by one.
Sure.
There's nothing that's required in also, but I'm aware of this board adopted.
Okay.
That's how that works. So it would be up to what the chair wants to do. That's the one who leads the meeting.
Well, sure. I mean, we could then go with the next nomination.
So it sounds like you were nominated. Just
Yes.
need a second. So.
Yeah.
Do I get to second myself?
You can.
Oh, that feels pretentious for Alice myself.
I think that says you can.
And so we should open it up for discussion then.
Did. Missed it.
So Amy, presented a document for her reasons behind being nominated.
Molly.
Well, I'm sorry, Molly,
Okay.
for vice chair. So I don't know what her opinions on chair would be, but I know she did send something for vice chair. So.
Yeah, that's I guess mine is like, I don't know if Molly wants to, like, that was my only, like, I just don't,
Right.
like, I would love to have a discussion with Molly here.
And just so it's clear for board members, you can't vote by proxy, and Molly can't. I mean, her submission, I think she's indicated she wants to nominate herself, but she cannot do that since she's not here. So she can indicate her interest or not and submit something in writing, but you can't vote by proxy.
Yeah, that's my only is, I just want to make sure that Molly's okay with that.
She hasn't indicated any indication to chair, serving as chair to me, but that doesn't mean she's not interested.
Right, me either, yeah.
I guess you all
What do
would
we do?
discuss.
So here's one of the things that I find. So I'm worried particularly around the ASWB and your involvement in the ASWB, Amy. That it makes it so that discussions around alternative pathways and around anything to do with the ASWB is not, it feels like it's weighted towards the ASWB. Where Molly is not involved in the ASWB the way you are. And so it feels like it's going to be a lot more even.
Gotcha.
And there's going to be some big decisions around the ASWB coming up. And having a chair who's like deeply involved in the ASWB feels problematic. And I feel really bad to tell you this because I think that other than this, you would be great at this, Amy.
Yeah.
But I have some like big concerns about it.
Yeah, I think for, Patty, I appreciate that. And I do. And I think it's really important, particularly because ASW is our association. As a board, it is our association. So the way to have influence for our association is to be involved in it. And being removed from it feels like we then there's just no way to like have movement in a direction that we think is good for our profession. And so for me, like, that's why, like, I want to be deeply involved in ASWB. I feel like if I'm in there, then I can bring up the issues that we're having. And for example, right now, I serve on the research committee. That's important stuff. Like, we want to make sure that the research, which could be around the exam, is being done. I feel like if we don't have somebody, at least from Oregon, that's in there advocating, then our association is going to go a direction that perhaps we don't want it to go.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I think that like if our chair is doing that, because the ASWB is also does a lot of lobbying, that the chair may be influenced by the ASWB.
I mean, I think associations serve a purpose for us, right? So they can do lobbying that is helpful for our state also and for our profession.
One example is alternative pathways, which the ASWB seems very against and have shown across many states. And that we have alternative pathways on the table right now, which would greatly increase the accessibility of the social work licensure for people with disabilities, for people who are or English as second language speakers, or Black Indigenous and Latino people. That like, I feel like for the citizens of Oregon, this is important. And that somebody who's involved with the ASWB may be against this. And in fact, at our last meeting, you opposed the board making a commitment to an alternative pathway. And so I think that like my worries about this may be founded.
Yeah, I think for me, it is, as a board, we have not accepted what the subcommittee provided. So my nay is definitely just around like board process. And again, I think we'll get to like the cart before the horse of like, let's just make sure that we're going to follow process. And again, as a chair, I just want to make sure that we follow the process that our board has set out. And that would be it.
I continue to worry about like where commitments. And I just don't know. And maybe this is just going to be opaque. But I can't have faith in your ability to chair with this still weighing on us. In fact, I emailed you about 6 weeks ago about having a researcher come and do a presentation for us on research they've been doing on the ASWB exam. Who have somebody who's like been involved in like creating alternative pathways, and I never got a response from it.
Yeah, because I don't, again, just trying to follow, like, I don't know what my role is yet. And so just wanting to make sure, like, as the co-chair. So, yeah.
And then today, again, I had to add the old business, the alternative pathways discussion. And so like I had some worries about it, Amy.
Yeah, you do.
And I think Molly would be somebody who is she's always shown that she thinks for herself, makes her own decisions, and it's something that like I respect a lot in her.
And listen, I feel the same about Molly. I think she's amazing. And I think she would be an amazing chair. I want to make sure that that's what she would like also before we move forward. Because I would hate to have her nominated and then voted. And she was like, I don't have the capacity.
You said you can call her
Yeah.
in a letter.
Well, I think that would be part of public comment. So I think you'd be able to come in during public comment. Is that about right, Kyle?
Yes. Yes.
I just had an observation since I'm new to all of this. So it sounds like what I'm like hearing is that there could be opposing people and up for this position. So why wouldn't the same thing fall to another person who is pro the alternative pathways? What if they drive it? Do you see what I mean? So I would like to think that people on the board, if we're here and we're involved with something that could do this, that we are ethically grounded enough to be able to separate ourselves from that. And if we're not, then should we be? Like that's my question with this conversation, because I mean, and I don't know Molly well enough, and I like to know any of this and her not being here. And again, I'm a new public member to this board, but I'm like, couldn't the same thing happen on the other hand?
Okay, what I found in Molly is that she has been skeptical of alternative pathways, and she's been skeptical of the ASWB. And in that way, I feel like it's going to be the most even decisions being made.
Amy, did you want to talk specifically about your nomination? Did you want to have any comments for your?
No, I think I think from my perspective, um, I think for me, just a commitment to regulation and making sure that we have really good social workers out there doing great work, right? And so for me, like, been on the board for about around 3 years. I think I came in right in after Molly. And also I've done a lot of supervision in this field. And just really feel like I have a strong understanding of social work ethics and what we're looking at, and really a deep commitment to the social work practice. So making sure that the state of Oregon licenses and pushes out really great social workers for our community and for our state. That's all. Kyle, I don't know if there's other discussion. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut.
Oh,
you
yeah.
off.
Anyone else have any discussions for board nominations as to why they are interested in supporting the chair?
What is the function of the chair versus the vice chair?
I agree with that.
The vice chair's role is to step in when the chair is not able to be chair. And the reason why Amy is because the prior chair has resigned from the board, and the rules provide the vice chair steps in when the chair is not to.
So that's it?
Well, so she's asking what are the specific roles of the chair? And I will apologize right up front. I didn't bring the documentation that exactly explains what the board chair position is. And I don't think I would do the position justice in talking around what they do. So I apologize for that. I just didn't think that would be a discussion. Kyle, do you know where that?
It's in rule.
It's in rule? Okay, we should probably pull up the rule then.
Yeah, 877, 10, 15.
877, 10, 15.
Responsibilities.
877, 10, 15.
Okay.
I mean, I can read the rule.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have the rule up if you want me to. It says the board chair shall be responsible to carry out the duties of the chair, including but not limited to the following: develop a draft agenda for each board meeting, act as chair during the meetings of the board, call board meetings as necessary, appoint board members to board committees, supervise the executive director and act as chair of the personnel committee, conduct business with the governor's office and the Department of Administrative Services as necessary, execute documents as necessary to conduct board business, carry out administrative functions which meet applicable board rules and guidelines in the interim between board meetings, which shall be presented to the full board for ratification or approval on the consent agenda of the board meeting immediately following the chair administrative actions. For purposes of this section of rules, administrative actions by the board chair include, but are not limited to: A, approval of CSWA supervision plan changes and plan completions; B, approval of applications for licensure or certification; C, approval of license or certification reactivations; D, approval of extensions of time for investigations under ORA 6761654. And then it goes on, the chair is further authorized to take action between board meetings on matters that require policy decisions by the board, subject to ratification by the board at the board's next meeting immediately following the chair's action. Any such action shall be noted on the agenda for the next meeting of the board and shall become the first order of new business at the next meeting. And then finally, the rule provides the vice chair shall act as chair or act in lieu of the chair when the chair is unable to perform the required duties.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, so there. Those.
Do you need some more water?
Yeah, probably. Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, just thinking about all of these things. And since like you, I was like, I got here 1 meeting ago, so it still feels very new. Yeah, I do. I think the alternative pathways is a big thing too.
So as far as that goes, so you all act as a committee, as a body.
Mhm.
No independent, no single person on the board has the authority to determine what's going to happen with the alternative path. That's something that you all decide together. If anything, the board chair and myself would act as facilitators for that discussion, and also as Amy was discussing earlier, our role is to understand the process and make sure we're following the process. But if your concern is that any one committee member, any one board member would have authority over where the path of the alternative path committee goes, that is not true. As a board, you all control that.
And that's kind of what I would think. I was kind of getting confused here because it feels like that. It feels like that original conversation implies that the chair has the power to do this. And I was kind of like, well, wait, as a public member, does that mean that I cannot disagree with the vice chair? I mean, if you were the chair and you were the vice chair, I can not disagree with what you say and do it in a public way. And this is a regulatory board. And I'm not like right now opposed to alternative pathways or ASWB. As a public member, I'm very interested in making sure that the services that I receive as a consumer from a social worker are safe, that that social worker has proven that they're capable of providing me those services and my family and my friends that they deserve, and how they got that knowledge. I understand that there's many pathways. I'm a non-traditional learner. I've taken alternative pathways to get where I am today. I just want to make sure that the public is safe. And I don't know how I feel like this topic here of this is overshadowing who we pick for chair, vice chair, based off of what they're capable of and more off of a possible bias. And there's that. And I think that we have to, as humans, understand that there's unconscious bias and that we're all capable of it. And sometimes we have to act in best faith that the person who we nominate, if they're the right person for it, is going to keep those biases in check or not, whether it's Molly, whether it's Amy. I think that they're two very capable. I think everybody in this room is extremely capable. So those are just kind of my thoughts. I don't know that that's any one thing.
One thing the chair does is sets the agenda,
Right.
and that the alternative pathways continues to not be on the agenda has very much been to do with the decisions of the chairs.
So to be transparent, one of the reasons, or the reason I think that the primary reason why I didn't make it to this particular agenda was because Annie was not available for discussion. And so, I mean, not being a board member, that is something that came up. And I would assume as board members, you all would want someone here who has been part of the discussion from the beginning and is, as you stated, very influential and understands both sides.
When you refer to Amy, you're referring to
I'm
Molly.
sorry, Molly, I apologize.
Just want to check.
Saying
Looking at
Molly.
it,
Molly.
I think I'm-
So it was simply because Molly wasn't going to be. No more complicated than that.
And as, again, sorry, I'm gonna suck the oxygen out of the room today. I'm very curious, like, as this, like, I'm aware, I've of course read bios on both Amy and Molly, right? I know certain things about what they've done on this board. When we're electing people, how do we ask for extra information or why they're a good fit?
We just
First
asked.
of all, we just ask them, right? And like, for me, like, I can't ask Molly, like, why she's a good fit or what it is or anything like that to do it. If it was one of you guys, like I could,
Mhm.
and be able to inform my decision better. I can't do that. So what do we do?
Well, she
in
did
this
submit a package.
She did submit that, and in her document, as a person, if there was board elections coming up and there was something I wanted or something I thought I was qualified for, I'd probably submit what I wanted. And if I wanted chair, submit for chair. If I wanted vice chair, vice chair. So, I mean, but again, it's having to ask for the operation of Molly's mind, and Molly's not here, right?
Molly said, again,
She
Molly
said-
says in the
Oh,
document,
in it.
we can call her. So
Okay,
we
yeah.
can call her right now and ask her if she is.
Oh,
interested
yeah, and
in
I'm sorry,
chair.
I did hear that, but I wasn't sure if we were allowed to do that. So sorry, I did hear you say that. I forgot to ask, are we allowed to do that?
Yeah.
So sorry.
No, it's okay. I was like, she said we can call her. Like, we don't have to speculate what Molly's thinking. We can just ask Molly. Yeah.
So Kyle, how would that even work?
I'm asking.
Because it's a public meeting.
Just as part of the meeting. I mean, there's.
But
nothing that
would her,
prevent the board.
would everyone have to hear what she says? Understand?
Yes, it would have to be part of the
So it
meeting.
would be putting her on speaker,
Unless-
I guess? How does that work?
Yes, the alternative would be you could take a break, and as the executive director, you can reach out to her
Okay. Yeah, and I guess,
and then
Yeah.
report back, but then the other board members won't get to hear the conversation.
yeah, well,
Well, they have to trust it.
Probably shouldn't.
well, I guess we do both worlds. You all let me know what you want to ask her. And then I'll ask her if she wants to have that be part of a public meeting, her response. You know?
I'll take a break and see if she can show up. Yeah, because
Yes, she could certainly join the meeting at any time as a board member.
Yeah, because I would like for her, I mean,
A heads up. Would be nice. She's busy
You certainly
right now.
could ask. She's available to join the meeting either by telephone or
Right.
through the.
And then, okay, if I call her and ask her, oh, well, we should probably take a break.
I would suggest you take a break.
Take a break.
You're gonna figure out those logistics.
Did you get permission for that? I'm like,
it's 11:39. Like, should we take like just a 5-minute break? to
Yeah.
See if we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 11:44.
Okay.
Okay, and so the question,
Do you even want to be the chair?
there we go. That's what I wanted
Let's see. Am I in the waiting room? I think so.
Hey Molly, I went ahead and admitted you in, but I don't know where
I know.
you can't hear me?
There we go.
Hello.
Can you hear us, Molly?
No, there we go.
You can't hear us.
Um,
There we go. We can hear you, Molly.
Bluetooth
Oh,
off.
that doesn't help.
See if
She
that
says she
helps.
can't hear.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
No?
Yes. Yes.
Can you
Okay.
hear us?
All right. Okay,
Can
what
you hear
is
us, Molly?
What? Yeah, what on earth is going on?
Well,
Molly, you've been nominated for chair. And so we have been having discussion and we obviously want you included in this because you're being nominated and want to make sure that you, one, are aware and then can share with
Accept
us.
nomination.
Accept the nomination.
so Molly, I nominated you because I nominated you
Okay.
because I feel like you are one of the people who I'm maybe the person who's able to think and make your own decisions regardless of things. You're able to be skeptical, and a big part of this has to do with the alternative pathways. I feel like you have been skeptical of alternative pathways and have shown yourself to be skeptical of the ASWB. I think that like of anybody here, that you would be the person to be able to make the most rational decisions as chair when many different opinions are flying. And I trust in you and would trust in your leadership as chair.
Okay, I appreciate the context and that information. I'm a little, do I reply? Like, I'm a little uncertain what I should be saying or doing right now, I guess. Like, are you looking, since this is news to me, are you looking for a response from me about it? Or
Well,
am I,
I mean,
can I share my thoughts? I mean, I don't even know, like, are we an executive? Is this what's happening?
we're in open session right now, so
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, it's public and this process is a public process.
Okay. Okay, so I guess, if it's appropriate, maybe I'd like to respond to what you said, Patty, but also share a little bit of why I nominated for vice chair specifically. If is that appropriate in this setting and at this time?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm gonna take what you said as a compliment, although I also feel like I got called a curmudgeon a little bit, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. So I guess what I like, I disagree in that I think that there are lots of people that have roles on the board that are able to kind of have their opinion and hear other voices and like shift thinking. I mean, I have experienced that over my time on the board, and I think, and I have been on, a little bit longer than some other folks. So I don't think I am necessarily unique in that regard. I have great trust in the members that I know. I'm still getting to know the new ones, obviously, but have kind of start from a place of trust until people kind of, indicate otherwise. I guess I want to remind all of us that the role of chair is really about facilitation, and there's a lot of like detail work to it in terms of making sure work in between kind of happens, and it's a heavy lift in that regard. I haven't done chair before, but I have witnessed it being done, and I know kind of what it entails. And I have been vice chair, and the reason I thought vice chair might be a good fit is because I have experience on the board. If I need to step in, I'm able to facilitate with not a lot of like notice need be, should whoever ends up in the chair position, you know, have something unexpected come up, let's say. I do kind of want to remind all of us, the chair is not a decider. Like, it's not a dictatorship. You know, we are a body. And we decide together and we debate together, and not always agreeing is a natural state when you have a board, and I think healthy in a lot of ways, quite honestly. So I'm not, you know, without no one shared today kind of who's been nominated, but as long as we have someone who has capacity to kind of really be a true partner with Ray and support both staff and the board members in that level of minutia, if they have that, and they're able to, you know, successfully facilitate, you know, those kind of conversations where we're not always maybe on the same page, you know.
Molly,
What?
Molly, I want to add, so you were nominated, but there's not been a vote. So I just want to make sure you know that. So there was a nomination, but no vote.
Right. I
Okay.
guess I'm trying to provide the context of this is what I expect from the chair. And I am choosing, you know, I chose vice chair because I think I have the skill set to support that person and the board. And I don't think I have capacity for a lot of that in between stuff that has to happen. And I, you know, anytime I'm going to step into a position like that, I want to give me 1 second. I want to make sure that I can show up completely. And you all know I've had a lot kind of happening in my personal life. And, you know, that is something I have to take into consideration. And I want to commit to being at all the meetings that I can, but today's a perfect example, like can rearrange move-in day. So that's why I'm less comfortable with stepping into a chair role at this time, and more comfortable with vice chair, because I think it fits both the board's needs, my skill set, and the reality of just what my capacity is. So I guess I wanted to provide that larger context about how I think about the roles and why I'm self-nominated for vice.
That's helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So do you oppose your nomination? Do you feel like you don't, like you can't do it, Molly?
It sounds,
I mean, I don't think I would do it well. And I don't like to not do things well. And I don't think it would serve the board, or if it did, it would be a detriment to my health. So if it's possible, I would prefer to decline at this time. I appreciate the confidence that is, you know, in my abilities. I definitely appreciate that, but I don't think right now is the right time for me. And if it's not right for me, it's not going to be right for the board.
Thank you.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Of the self-awareness.
Anything else?
I don't know. Do
You
I
want
need
her
to?
to be present for any voting?
Right, that's what I was really. Did you want to be?
Present.
Do you want her to be present for any voting?
Do you want to be present for voting, or do you
When
need
are
to
you
get
voting?
back?
Are you voting right now? Or?
I think now.
Well, they're
Yeah,
talking about voting right now.
Yeah, if you're going to vote in the next 20 minutes, 15, let's be real, 10 minutes, then I can.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean,
We need more than that.
Okay.
spread a little thin over here.
All right, y'all.
Okay.
I think
So
it's
does someone
back
have
in
to
your-
like motion to vote now? Or what happens
No,
now?
the chair would direct, okay, so we're done with discussion,
Oh,
so let's
okay.
vote. So, and then you done the nominations. Now, I will say that if Molly will not accept being chair, then it doesn't matter what the board wants to do, because you can't force a person to be
Exactly.
Yeah.
chair. So you can still go forward with the vote, but she could say, well, I appreciate the vote, but I'm not going to accept being chair. So, so keep that in mind. You can't force somebody to be chair.
Would you not accept being chair, Molly?
Yeah, sounds like.
It was very clear, I thought. Like, I was like, I don't know where you're going, Patty.
Thank you for not forcing me. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Is there other discussion that you would like to have before we move on?
Okay. I'm happy we called and asked her.
Thanks for the advice. Do we call a, Kyle, I'm looking at you for process now.
Well, there's been nominations, so you go through each. So you could take them like, Molly's been nominated, it's been seconded, so you could say, let's vote. And then you'd go through the roll call and each member would say yes or no.
For vice chair.
For chair, because that's what we're talking about, chair. And then once you do chair, you'll do vice chair.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
do we
then-
need to do both nominations?
Well, I would take one nomination at a time, because obviously if somebody at the board votes as a majority for one person to be chair, there's no reason to go for the next nomination.
Mhm.
So you can't have two chairs. So you could take them in order. I mean, Molly was nominated for, you could say, okay, so
Okay,
let's vote on the nomination for Molly being chair and then direct the roll call for the vote.
okay.
Is that instructive though?
Well, it's up to you, unless she says she for sure will decline if she.
Okay.
Can Molly vote since she said? yes?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. In fact, I would recommend she vote when she's present, so.
Okay.
So let's start with the chair nomination of Molly.
And then start. Pick person.
That has been,
Do the roll call.
Yeah, no, I'll do the roll.
So do I just call it everybody's name? Is that right? Do I have a specific thing I say?
No, you just say, Patty and.
Okay.
Say his full name for the record, but yeah,
And then so I just say their name and then they say yay or nay.
correct.
Perfect. Okay. All right, Patty.
Yeah.
Olivia.
full name.
They said full name.
Oh, full name. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
It would be better for the minutes, obviously.
Minutes. Okay. Go. I'll start now. Nicole Pantley.
Nay.
And then Amy Ashton Williams.
Nay.
Molly Jansen.
Nay.
And then did you record all that? Or did somebody record
Not
all
while
that?
I'm also trying to, sorry.
Hold on, she's got to record.
We're all good.
We have another nomination for Amy Ashton Williams.
Yeah, let her get that.
I understand.
Sorry. New process, so I appreciate the learning curve.
I was just getting the words out of the way.
Okay. Patty Farr.
Okay. Don't get me wrong, Amy. Yes.
Olivia Borman.
Yay.
Nicole Pantley.
Yay.
Amy Ashton Williams.
Yay.
And then Molly Jansen.
Yay.
Sorry.
We have to be co-chair, yes. So do we
Oh, nomination.
have any nominations for vice chair?
I nominate
Just-
Molly.
Yeah.
Or I second Molly's.
Yeah, I was like.
I second Molly.
Molly would have to do it herself,
Well,
right?
it's Molly'd have to do it herself, so.
Oh, her letter doesn't count?
Oh, well,
No,
I
because
prefer nominate Molly,
Okay.
Molly Jansen as vice chair.
I'll second that.
Okay, so Patty Farr nominated Amy Ashton,
Yeah.
second. Okay.
Do we vote now?
We did. Wait, any other nominations?
Any other nominations? Thank you.
Now we vote.
There we go. Okay.
Unless you want to have some discussion, Molly, or something.
Oh, yeah.
She said I have 2 more minutes left.
All right.
Patty Farr.
Yay.
Olivia Borman.
Yay.
Nicole Pantley.
Yay.
Amy Ashton Williams.
Yay.
And Nicole. Oh my gosh. Molly Jansen.
Yay.
Cool.
Thanks for joining, Molly.
Thanks, Molly.
Have fun moving.
Have fun.
Are we done? Is that all?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, nice to see you all. Don't call me. I'm just kidding. All right, good luck with the meeting. I hope everything goes well. Later.
Next on the agenda is public comment, but that took,
Quite a bit of time.
that took a bit. I would propose for public comment that everybody have about 10 minutes. And then once we're done with public comment, we can take a break.
Okay.
And is that okay, Kyle, to come back from break and move directly into executive session?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, you have to public and then take it.
Yes.
But yes.
So we do have public comment. We have some public online and we have public here. If you could limit your time to about 10 minutes so that we can get through all the public that's here, that would be amazing. Could we start online? I see Michelle.
Yes, good morning, everybody. My name is Michelle Sidoroff, and I'm a clinical director at a community health agency in Portland. And today I'm wishing to express my concerns regarding the current operational procedure of the official license document having the initial license date be the date when the board approves a supervisory evaluation report to grant approval for independent licensure application versus the date in which the board has approved the LCSW application and granted the license number. This date issue impacts ethical concerns and systemic repercussions around correct licensures on clinical records, billing and insurance system regulations, because services from an independent licensed clinician cannot be billed under another independent licensed clinician for mental health services. And it would be considered a finding in any clinical or financial audit, as I would have a CSWA signing off on all their documents as a CSWA till they have their license number. But if like an auditor were to come in and view their license document, it would look like they had their actual number longer than what it was granted by the official board. And that's basically a sum up of my comment and my concern around a current operation.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Is there any other public online that would like to share? I was just looking at names. Okay. Pull up names.
Somebody. Ludi Corselius, I hope I'm saying that correctly. And we have a Miranda Bass. Miranda Bass are the other two.
You-
We have
Hi, this is Cody Corselius. I'm a state policy coordinator with the Association of Social Work Boards, just listening in. So thank you for having me.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's- Then, is there anyone else online public comment?
Okay. We have folks here. Hi.
Is there another public comment at the end?
There is.
I'm gonna wait. Okay. That's executive session. Good morning.
Kathy, would
Kathy,
you
you're
like to
up.
present?
Okay, hi, I'm Kathy Altman.
Well, we have space on, right, the ASWB section, right? You said go ahead. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Opportunity. I have
Go
an
ahead.
appointment at 2:00.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So this is a hot topic. Honestly, my appearance here is to give you a report on the ASWB annual leadership meeting that we had in Vermont in August. And so perhaps it's a really good time for me to have the opportunity to share with you a little bit of some of the history, but also what we're doing currently. And this is not all inclusive. I am simply going to give you what we did at the leadership week and also some things that are new and happening. And I will talk about alternate paths to licensure at the end. So I want you to know that I will talk about that, although you may not necessarily find it on this particular report. So we met with about 80 volunteers from all over the jurisdictions, including Canada and the US. And we met with, this is a new kind of thing that they've been doing the last, I think, 3 years, where they bring all the committees, all the board members, all of the staff together to work on the agendas and the tasks that are ahead on our committees for ASWB. And I can tell you, it was an impressive and coordinated effort to get all of these folks here to Stowe, Vermont, which is a really tiny little town and famous for its 25, at least 25 ski runs on a mountain that's only 4,300 feet tall. And coming from Oregon, we're going, how do you do that? You know, because we have the most beautiful skiing here in Oregon, which I used to get to do. I kind of gave that up a little while ago, but be that as it may. So there are the things that we do for this are the 11 committees that we meet, and there's bylaws, and there's exams, and there's each section of exams has their committees for the clinical, the general. I know. Well, hey. Thank you. So we had a DEIJ committee initiative, and members of all of the committees were invited to select an ambassador, a liaison from their committees to meet with the DEIJ committees. And the purpose of that is to enhance communication and collaboration across all of the ASWB work groups, ensure that our lens remains central to our committee work, to promote reflection and dialogue, to identify bias, privilege, and exclusion, and amplify the voices of those who most directly are impacted by these conversations. So one of the topics, and I was selected to be that liaison, and so we talked a lot about what we wanted to try to bring to this committee and what the committee can offer for us as members of the committee. One of the things that we ended up, that came up, of course, are all the jurisdictions that are now having to remove anything that has to do with any language that has to do with diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. And so this obviously is not just affecting our licensing boards, but of course, federal and all other kinds of places. But our meeting was to bring to you all and to let you know this, because we're interested in trying to find ways where, if this language is being removed, how do we, what language can we use to substitute that aren't triggers but convey the same intention? So that is, I'm on page 1, almost done. Okay, so, and so then I was on the Regulatory Research Committee, and our chair, and now our chair is the chair of that committee. And I was lucky enough to be also on that committee. And the purpose of that is to assess ongoing research needs across the regulatory landscape, to prioritize themes and topics for research and shape the direction and complete the criteria for research requests for proposals. So it's very detailed. And our committee is putting out an RFP recommendation for 2 topics: supervision and technology. AI, as you well know, is a very big thing coming. It's been around for a while, but how is it affecting whether or not we're getting complaints in our boards for how it's being used or misused? So that's kind of an up and coming topic that we're looking for research on as well. I also added, just so you would know, because I'm kind of taking a historical approach to what they did in 2023, and let you know that you are more than able as members to be able to go into their website and research and read and get and really know what is available for you as a board member and as a board. So last year, they finished research on focus on regulatory research initiative to advance equity in the social work profession, investigate variables associated with licensure exam rate data, pass rate data, support ongoing efforts to ensure equity, and identify areas requiring further study. And research studies are available. I want you to know the entirety of those research reports are available. So other takeaways that I think are really important is for our licensees, for them to know that they can go on the ASWB website now and go into the ACE, and maybe we do a link for that for our board, for our licensees. They can now go into ACE and they can find any course they want that's been approved, whether it's individual or organizational. They can go by how many credits they're looking for. They can go by topics. They can go by presenters. And actually, there's probably about 8 different ways that you can get there. And then they have the links where you can sign up. You see what else? Almost there. It's okay. So new board member engagement. New board member training is very important. It helps you to understand your role as a regulatory board and understand the role of regulatory boards in general, and also your role as a board member. It helps you to gain insight into the commonalities and differences in our various jurisdictions, of which we're all cohorts. And it helps you to appreciate the strengths and challenges within both US and Canadian systems, because we're not the only one who's being challenged about alternative pathways. And I can tell you, when I was on the board 3 years ago, that was one of our major additions to our to the vision strategic plan. It is to incorporate pathways. So it is not really correct to say that they're anti-pathways. Okay, I just want you to know that. And then finally, looking ahead, there's a delegate assembly coming up. And to help ensure broad and equitable participation in governance, they will pay for a delegate from each board. They will pay for a chair of a committee, which is Amy. They will pay for an administrator to go fully paid. So why? To ensure that we have a broad and equitable participation in government by the members. And that's why they do that. So finally, don't cut me off. This is the important part. I wanted to give you a little historical perspective. This board has been a member and has been represented by at least one delegate, ASWB, for the past 35 years, maybe longer. We have had our board administrator, Betty Bice. She won the first recipient of the Glenda McDonald Administrator Award. That was 2002. I didn't have years for everybody, so I didn't want to put them down. Roger Kusanek, he served on many committees. He was a president. Mark Oldham was the recipient of a board member award, Sunny Andrews. I myself served on the board for 1 year and numerous committees. I've been a regulator for 19 years, just so you know. And finally, Brenda Dennis, who was chair of this board, and she moved to Arizona. So she's now on the Arizona board as a public member, but she was voted as an Oregon member, public member for her first term. And so there you go. You have a little history. And I'm very proud of our work that we've done. They're not perfect. We're not perfect, but we have a lot of resources that we can combine our energies and learn from each other. And everyone is under a lot of pressure. Every board. So.
Kathy.
Kathy. Kathy.
What time
I
is it?
think we had.
And I don't did.
Yeah.
Darren?
Please. Is there anyone online that wanted to participate in public comment? We're still in public comment session.
Okay,
Okay, all right.
so we're gonna take, how long do we usually break to grab some lunch and then come back? 10 minutes?
10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, okay, so it's 12:19, if we can be back like 12:35-ish to get going and get some food. That's good.
Thank you.
And we're gonna move right into executive session. And I will call the meeting into executive session under the, yes, so. Under the authority, I'm sorry, it's 12:39, under the authority of ORS 192.660 to BFHI health. Okay, so 12:52, we'll come out of executive session and go back into public session. I'll get it, Rhea.
You good? All right.
Yeah, because you're next on the agenda.
I am or am not?
You are.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll just wait till you can start my stuff.
Sure, do you know? Huh?
Is he? Oh, I thought she was going to get the first.
Oh, sorry. I was opening the door. I thought I was doing my job. Got the door open. Nothing, right?
Nothing.
That's right.
You are. All right, so going to the executive director report. As far as a legislative update, I don't have anything at this time that's open. Most of what's going on at the legislature right now, I'm keeping an eye on what's upcoming because there's no session going on. Thank God for that. But as it stands right now, I'm not foreseeing anything in legislation that affects us right now. Everything passed last session, that's all taken care of. Any questions on any of that?
You think the interstate compact is gonna
Absolutely.
come back?
Oh, absolutely. But there's nothing to do with that for now. The language, hopefully, of the compact will change because from the board's perspective, like we take whatever legislation they propose and run that through council, see what council says about, the first test is how it lines up with Oregon law and Oregon Constitution, and then I report out on that. Hopefully that most of that's been resolved, but there's no way for me to know that until I see the new compact. One thing I will do, probably within the next couple of weeks, hopefully before our next meeting, is follow up with whoever might be presenting that bill. I think that's going to be can't remember what his name is. Deal, Representative Deal, and see if there's a version that's available that he might propose. That way, I can run that version through council and see if there's any. If it aligns with Oregon law or Constitution. If it doesn't, I can report back on that, and then you all can at least, talk about a version of what it might look like. But the problem with that is he can change it at any time. So, yeah. So anyway, so we'll see.
No,
but
okay.
there's a question: is it coming up? Yeah, it most likely it will. As far as Stintia goes, anyone else have any questions on the legislation or upcoming legislation? Any of y'all know any legislation I should know about? Okay, all right. As far as the Cynthia update, so this is going to be kind of related. So Cynthia has not changed in the performance that they offer. I still, well, based on what I'm seeing out there as far as other systems go, there are other systems that are far more aligned to the needs of the board. We're still regular investing at least 4 hours a week in staff time, just keeping Cynthia up and going. As far as responding to our concerns, it's still, they just respond better and they just say no, as opposed to not responding at all. So we're still in that situation. And all of that gives us the option to see what, if there's something, or I shouldn't say if, because there is no question as to whether or not there's something out there that better serves us. So I'm still in the process of looking at something that better serves the board. Now, this kind of crosses over into the other project that I'm working on, which we have. I'm working on the fee increase. One of the main reasons I'm working on the fee increase is because right now the board does not have enough money to buy a new licensing system. And the answer from the legislature most likely is going to continue to be no until we raise those funds. And so we're having the RAC Monday. And in that RAC, I'm going to see if we can get a fee increase approved. And then once we get that fee increase approved, then we start collecting the funds to be able to move out of Cynthia. Short and sweet, we didn't get no money from legislation, and we ain't getting money from legislation. So there that is. So the short version of that Cynthia update is they're still doing what they do. They're still, we're still working in what I consider a substandard system. And I'm working on getting us out of that substandard system. So,
Frustrating.
yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
And those no responses?
Well, no, they respond. They're very responsive.
Oh, they're very.
They just say no.
Yes, I'm saying that, but
Yes.
how quick quick it comes, it's still unhelpful.
Exactly. Well, the other problem was they were not responding. Anyway, all right. Moving on to board member update. As you can see, we're down 2 board members. I already put in a recommendation for 2 additional board members. And I've received, well, you're in communication with the executive appointments, the governor's executive appointments. And I don't know what's going to go on with those names. If they move, they move. If they don't, we're going to start all over again. So I did what I can do. Amy will attest to that. I've done everything I could possibly do. And we'll see what happens. So best case, we'll get 2 new board members. Worst case, we're going to start the process all over again.
Yeah, we got the names.
You got that confirmed? Oh, you mean we put the names?
We put the names in.
Right. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, we're always looking for public members. And so if you all have people who can serve, who you believe can serve as public members, please send them either, if you know where the website is, to the website. Well, don't say either. Send the names to me. Just do that way, because that whole process.
I sent out 4 from a very diverse. I sent out emails to 4 people who are very diverse and have regulatory experience and are very honorable. So we'll see.
I as executive director, I've only been here for about 1.5 years. But what I can say is, I think best case is, I guess, the test for a person that's willing to put their own personal agenda aside for the good of all Oregonians. I think that's fundamentally the attribute that we need from any board member. And of course, the ability to think critically, the ability to work well with other people, kind of those things. But more than anything, the ability to say, I'm going to take my agenda, put it aside for the good of all Oregonians. So that's what I would ask. And that's the first question I'm going to ask any person that puts their name in. Let's see. So that's all I have for the board member update. Any questions?
It's 2 public members.
2 public member openings. Well, yes, there's 2 public member openings right now. I have submitted names, but I haven't received any confirmation from the Executive Appointments Office or the Senate that those names are going to move. So which leads us back to, we still have two public
And
members.
a public member can be regulated under another board, just not us, right?
What?
Like they couldn't be licensed counselors or.
Correct.
Oh, right, yes, yeah, right.
It's not a social.
Right, it's not social. Okay, staffing update. So going back to our budget thing, so the legislature requires that we have a certain amount of money at all times. I found out about 8 months ago that we don't. And I guess I'll be making a presentation to the RAC tomorrow. If we continue in our current path, we're gonna deplete, well, not deplete, but we're gonna take our reserves way down. And at the end of the day, and I wish I had known this when I first sat in this seat, and I would have done everything differently. What I've learned is the financial model for public bodies is complicated. And I approach it as a business owner. I understand liabilities, I understand revenue, I understand spending, all of that. And it turns out that's not the way the public model works. So the short version is most of what we're doing right now is going to be dependent on this fee increase because the legislature won't let us spend what we don't have. We have to have a certain amount of money in reserve at all times. And so they won't let us spend past that. And we can only spend what we have outside of that. And we have very little outside of that. So how does that affect the staffing update? So I will be hiring one temporary OS2 within the next month. And the reason I'm hiring a temporary OS2 is because our funding model, the amount of money that we have coming in does not support the permanent staff member that we need. And that's part of the fee increase. So short version of that, I'll be hiring a temporary staff member, full-time staff member, probably for no more than about 6 months. And then if we get the fee increase approved, then we can start moving towards getting the permanent person that we need. So, I wish I understood public staffing models 8 months ago, because if I did, this would all be different. But anyway, so, but now I do know, and we're gonna get all that taken care of. So that's the staffing update. Oh, Lynette, I forgot to bring Lynette in. So
Lynette, we go get her.
the new staff, yeah, would you bring Lynette in, please, to ask her to come in and speak the board? So we did hire one part-time OS2. She comes in, I think, about 16 hours a week to help out. She is temporary. And staff is telling me that they are definitely recognized. They are definitely seeing their workload impacted, positively impacted by her contribution. She's going to come in and introduce Lynette. Any questions on that? Okay. And then I think the licensee and applicants that are in box.
Yeah.
I can read them if you want me to. Is there anything in particular I should be paying attention to?
Jean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
The total LCSWs are 7,368.
Yeah.
Oh, LCSWs. Okay.
LCSWs.
All right.
CSWAs is 1,941. Total LMSWs is 360 and total RBSWs is 36 for a total of 9,700.
So we're at 97.
Do we only get fees from active members?
No.
No, we get fees from inactive as well.
Oh, okay.
And semi-retired. That is here.
Why would they be inactive and pay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Everyone, I want to introduce you all to Lynette. That is our newest addition.
Hello.
So Lynette is a veteran of the. Oh, okay. United States.
Yeah.
Okay, nice like me. And Lynette has been here for about a month and a half now, 2 months now. Hello.
Getting a July. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, it's like you never weren't here, you were just embedded. There we go.
Lynette is doing tremendous work. We really appreciate the contribution. And everybody, this is Lynette, so.
Nice to meet you, Lynette.
Nice to meet you, board.
The board.
All right, thanks,
I'll let you
Lynette.
get back to it.
Go back and nap now.
Strategic nap.
She's our Comedy Central.
She is. And I think that's all I have. Yeah, a lot of success. We're still not at 10, you know, at 97.
Yeah.
So, all right.
In early 2026,
Yeah.
the first test. It's good. Olivia, did you have a question that you answered about inactive?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why would you be inactive and paying fees? What does inactive mean, I guess, if you're paying the fees?
It's a choice that some licensees make, like if they know they're not going to be practicing for a while, but they don't want to let their license or certificate fully expire, then they choose to go inactive. It's a lower renewal fee.
Okay.
And like for LCSWs, the other license, all MSWs and RBWs, they don't have to do any CE while they're inactive.
Okay.
And then they can choose to activate later. And there's like certain requirements they'll have to meet at that time. They're inactive, but it's people prefer it to going through the whole application process again, and then you have a number and.
Okay, that makes sense.
We have to
Work
bring
so
up all the
hard for their
paperwork.
license because they don't want to give it up.
Yeah.
Some people will be inactive for 10, 15 years forever just because they don't want to give that license up.
Oh, wow.
But they have to keep renewing it.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay, that is all I have. Which anything for me?
Did our application, like, did that change those dates, like the age of the oldest SWA application?
Yeah, right now I think it's at 15, but we have like had skyrocketed applications coming in. So I don't know how Angela's keeping up on top of them like she is. It's pretty amazing.
It's calmed down, knock on wood, for a little bit. But there for a while, we were at around every 2 weeks, we were getting about 100 applications submitted. So it was quite a lot for, I would say that was probably about a month and a half. That
Yeah,
it was
it's
just that intense.
Graduation season, and then it just
Yeah.
kind of kept going.
It all kind of went together. So
I mean, 15 days is still really.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is 30, and so we're still staying well under that. For a while, we were kind of like at 10 days for quite a while, but
yeah.
I think it'll go back down. We have a big influx.
Yeah, and so you'll notice, like, if you look at that blue line, that's the applications that we receive, right? That we actually get, and naturally, since our staff is not changing, as that blue line increase, you're going to notice the number of days of application time in the queue increase because we have more applications with the same amount of staff. So the only thing that we can give is days. It's staff. Does that make sense to everyone? So hopefully this fee increase goes through and we can hire permanent staff and we can start letting those numbers off.
Anything else, Ray?
I don't have any.
Good.
Yeah, things are going well.
Okay, let's move on to committee reports. Okay, starting with CPC. Okay, I'm just going to jump right into it. In the matter of case 2016-21, I move to close the case.
This is Patty, a second.
I do roll call then for these ones too. I do.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
correct.
for each one.
Okay, here we go. Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Yay.
Natalie. Oh my gosh, Nicole Pantley. That's okay.
Okay.
And then Amy Ashton Williams.
Yeah. In the case of the matter 2020-33, I move to close the case.
Patty.
Oops, I did it wrong. You go.
This is Patty Farr, a second.
You, Patty.
Okay, and roll call. Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Nicole Pantley,
Yay.
and then Amy Ashton Williams.
Aye. In the matter of the case 2021-05, I move to close the case.
Olivia, second.
And roll call, Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Nicole Pantley.
Yay.
I did that right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did right, yeah.
Amy Ashton Williams.
Aye. In the case of 2022-01, I move to close the case.
Olivia, second.
Roll call, Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Nicole Pantley,
Aye.
and then Amy Ashton Williams.
Shaded it to aye this time.
You did. Change it next.
Way to be influential.
The case 2024-24, I move to dismiss the case.
Olivia, second.
Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Yay.
Nicole Pantley,
Aye.
Amy Ashton Williams.
Yay. In the case of the matter 2024-38, I move to close the case.
Patty Farr, I second.
Roll call, Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Nicole Pantley,
Aye.
and then Amy Ashton Williams.
Aye. In the case of 2024-41, I move to close the case.
Olivia, second.
Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Nicole Pantley.
Aye.
Because I'm thinking my name, because I explain it. That's a story for later. Sorry. Amy Ashton Williams.
Aye. In the case of 2024-60, I move to close the case.
Olivia, second.
Roll call, Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Nicole Pantley,
Aye.
and Amy Ashton Williams.
Aye. In the case of 2025-01, I move to dismiss the case.
Patty Farr, I second.
Okay, roll call, Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Nicole Pantley,
Aye.
and Amy Ashton Williams.
Aye. In the case of 2025-04, I move to close the case.
Olivia, second.
Roll call, Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Aye.
and Amy Ashton Williams.
Aye. In the case of 2025-25, I move to approve and adopt the stipulated final order as presented, conditional upon respondent's signature.
Patty Farr, I second.
Call, Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Nicole Pantley,
Aye.
and Amy Ashton Williams.
Aye. Do I name all the cases?
Yes.
Thank you. Can I do them all as one?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. In the case of 2025-16, 2025-10, and 2021-22, I move to approve and adopt the stipulated final order as presented, conditional upon respondent's signature.
Patty Farr, I second.
Roll call, Patty Farr,
Aye.
Olivia Borman,
Aye.
Nicole Pantley,
Aye.
and Amy Ashton Williams.
Aye. That concludes CPC.
All right. So, on to licensing and exam committee. Oh, that's backwards. All right, so we approved previous hours requests for LCSW applicants Brittany Batista, Jessica Somerville, Martha Dodge, Taylor Bunton, and Danielle Goodfellow. Additionally, we approved a plan of supervision extension request for Ariel Dougherty. All right, on to continuing education committee. So we approved a continuing education request by Angela Zajas on how to write a treatment plan for 2 hours. Approved Barbara Bolowitz for 1 hour on money blocks, unlock abundance, shift financial mindset with EFT. We approved 10 hours of ethics for Brianna Dupuis for Pediatric Bioethics Conference, Narratives and Communication, Bridging Science Stories and Ethics in Pediatrics. We approved 7-hour request from Jessica Gibson for Foundations of Motivational Interviewing. We approved 1 hour for John Castor on holistic approaches to depression treatment. We approved 1 hour to Laura Lorette for LGBTQIA2S plus older adults understanding and responding to their challenges. We approved 10 hours for Mai Rosenberry for trauma-focused ACT. We approved 6 hours to Monica Gabaldon for EMDR one-day refresher course. We approved 2 hours for Rebecca Honda for suicide assessment and treatment. However, we also noticed that this was a in-service training at Oregon State Hospital, so we'll send her a letter to explain to her that like this doesn't need to be requested. And finally, we approved 3 hours to Sarah Rule, foundational principles and practices of somatic therapy. However, only once we get, and we approved it with an email from the instruction as the certificate. We have a requirement that a person has to submit a certificate. However, in discussion, we realized that like this isn't always the case. And so an email confirmation we agreed would suffice. It doesn't explain what a certificate is in the rules. Okay, and then finally, and maybe this will be a little bit of discussion, but we voted and approved for attendance of board meetings for the time of attendance or a maximum of 2 hours for ethics CEs to any attendee. So somebody who comes and attends the board, the public or board members can have a maximum of 2 hours for ethics CEs or the time they attended.
I assume that's a recommendation to the board.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, and so one of the things I know I just like, as we're walking in, I asked you this question and you were like, well,
most likely to require a rule change.
So our vote was that today counts as this. And I guess what I had heard you say was that for a single instance, we can approve.
If it's consistent with the rules, I'd have to look at the CE rules and make sure it would qualify under one of the categories.
Oh, okay.
So that's what defines it. And for something that would be generally applicable, you need a rule change.
Mhm.
But for individuals,
Right.
they would have to fall under the categories. And I mean, I haven't looked at the rule recently, but if it doesn't fall, then you couldn't approve it even on an individual basis. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So
my request is, because Kyle's time does not come cheap. And we have staff that can look at board rules. So, I mean, unless somebody's renewal or their reapplication is dependent on the outcome of this, I would recommend that you just give that to our staff and let our staff look at the rules to see if that's something that the committee could do, if it's not something that has to be done right now today.
Okay. And if, as the CE committee, like we can put this as like a continuing point that we either approve or disapprove the meeting for continuing education units. And so the reason behind this is that like what we are doing very much has to do with ethics and with the social work profession and participation and being active within something. Often like a person learns a lot more experientially than they do sitting down and listen to a lecture. for the 10th time about mandated reporting laws.
I just have one question though about that. So I probably should go just actually educate myself and go look, because what constitutes as a training, right? So like, is it just sitting in a room and listening to somebody, right? Or is it like what actually constitutes under rule as a training, right? Because I mean, I can still come sit here and not absorb anything either, especially if the concepts are above.
I think in the rules, it's basically if it's approved by
If it's
one of our
Well,
bodies.
and I don't know if you all actually pulled the rules out in the meeting and actually went through each rule and statute to see if it applies. The short answer to your question is, we don't know.
Oh,
All right. And I think it may be wise to have like a recommendation that you're proposing to the board. Because I mean, you all are board members. I'm hearing some stuff, but I'm not hearing an actual recommendation to the board that they approve something that the committee has done.
Mhm.
Is that,
So
that all right?
at our next meeting, we're going to be expected to approve the training, right, for that you and Molly are doing. And as the board, right, we can decide like.
Right, the board can approve its own trainings, yeah.
And so then I guess like I just maybe this is what we need clarification on, of like what counts as training.
Right, exactly.
Like because I don't know, it seems like participation in a board meeting could provide like a lot of knowledge to people.
So, I'm wondering, like, is this something, and I'm just going off what Ray was talking about, like, is this something that staff could do some digging on and then bring that back when there's the committee meeting for y'all to chew on and then come back to the board with recommendations and maybe
Okay, you okay with that?
yes, Kyle,
Okay.
and maybe Kyle guidance with us.
Right, exactly. If we need to talk about it.
It would be whether it's within one of the categories of the rule, as it stands. If not, the board would have to amend the rules. The board certainly could do that.
Oh, absolutely.
The rules allow that.
Right. Yeah, so if it's not in the current rule, that doesn't stop anything. That means we would just have a conversation on whether or not you want to change. We've got racks going, so that would be fine. If you want to change the rule, we change the rule. But I do want to include, as I discussed, there are other ways to get people to attend a board meeting without having to change rules. I just want to kind of toss that out there.
I love that you're like, we got racks going. I was like, whoa, slow down. Anything else?
Okay. That is all.
I don't think we have anything for special review. Nope, no. So we will open it up.
Public comment.
Public comment. Again, thank you for being here. I'm going to limit to about 10 minutes.
I'm going to be very quick.
Okay, thank you so much.
For sure. It's basically, thank you guys for letting me be here. I appreciate being a full as a member of the public for you taking the time and stepping up to protect the public safety by donating 4 years on the board. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. I had a question under ORS 67.6.75, section 2B, because I've requested further information, but I've kind of been stonewalled by this body. And that's why I'm here today, to try to get more answers on a complaint I filed, and to understand what happened. And as you said, there was no rule violation of rule or law. And I'm dumbfounded because I don't understand how financing your client's heroin addiction is not a violation of the law. I provided text messages, emails, court documents, etc., and audio tapes. And was that not a good evidence? What happened there? Why did it take so long? Because I reached out in 2019 to this board. And I'm just, wondering why, I'd like more information if that's possible.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that comment.
Appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for listening. I don't know how to get more. I mean, under 676.175, I'd just like to get more clarification. If that's what. If you get my emails answered, Mr. Miller.
I'm going to move on to old business. First one is the travel board meeting, ethics training planning. Oh, sorry, Ray, I just took over. Look at me.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Have at it. Please continue.
No, I was like, is there any updates? Is there anything?
Oh, okay, all right. Let's see. So the board meeting is next week, October 4th in Newport. I believe those,
Yeah.
on 2 weeks, I'm sorry. I apologize. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. To the best of my knowledge, unless you all choose to change this, there's no planned consumer protection committee at that meeting.
No committee meetings, right?
No, I think we changed the no committee meeting.
Oh, so we do have to have the CE committee meeting to approve.
Oh, that's true. Or,
Yeah, we can do, we
Or
said
could
that we could do that if we had something.
or could the board just approve it at the
Right.
meeting?
Oh, yeah, I guess, is that, or does the CE committee have?
Let's
I mean, we
let's
could just
have
go
it,
like,
right, let's have it as a
take
tentative
5
action.
Source this to the full board before when the CE
Okay.
committee has questions about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, so my concern is whether or not we're gonna have bandwidth to have this done before. If you think you have the bandwidth to get it done before the next board meeting, but I think what I'd like to do is,
Either way, it has to be done before.
yeah, because for them to present and get the CEs for it.
oh, you mean for the ethics class?
Isn't that what we're talking about?
Oh, yeah. Okay, but I thought Amy can approve that. Right?
That's true.
Yeah, Amy can approve that.
That's true. 'Cause-
You can just approve it?
Yeah.
And it can be like ratified
Yes,
at
the
whatever.
board chair can approve.
That's true.
Yeah, unless you all have some concerns about it. So let's have that discussion. So ethics training, do you have some concerns about how the board should approve the upcoming ethics training for the October 4th meeting in Newport? Open up the floor for discussion.
I think it's fine. I actually, in the past, what I heard was that we didn't even have like a board approval, or maybe just the chair approved it. Maybe that's what happened in the past.
Possibly. I do know that the rules allow for the chair to approve a CE if that's what we need between board meetings. Best case is to bring it to a board meeting, but the chair has the authority to approve it between board meetings.
Okay.
But it has
So-
to
so I-
be
so the
ratified at whatever
question
the
is-
following board meeting.
Oh, we have to.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so then you just bring it to us and we. Okay.
But I guess what's on the floor right now is a discussion as to whether or not the board is okay with the chair approving the ethics training prior to October 4th and then it being ratified at the October 4th meeting. Is there a concern with that?
Not here.
Okay. Does anyone have any concerns with that? Okay, cool. All right. So then we will, as far as the ethics training, it sounds to me like I have the board's approval to allow the chair to approve that for CE credit or whatever CE credits we're going to approve for that. And then we'll bring that to the October. Well, would it be ratified at the October 4th meeting?
Well, yeah, because the meeting will be before the training.
Okay, cool. And but we would have enough, whatever the board needs to ratify it. Because I don't know what you all are going to need to ratify it. So we'll make that, we'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah.
And so we will have CE committee. I'm at the October 4th meeting, if for nothing else for that, and then also to discuss your proposal for the board, whether or not the rules allow for the board to authorize a board meeting as a CE training. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I want to make sure. So there is going to be a CE.
Yes.
Subcommittee meeting
Yes.
prior to the board meeting.
Yes.
Oh,
No?
I thought we landed on we didn't need to.
yes. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
because we have an item on every agenda for special reviews. So
Okay.
It can be like anything.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Okay, so that'll just be our special review.
yes,
Is that okay?
And
All
then
right,
the
so-
CE
it's
is
perfect.
after the board meeting, so.
Yes. Yeah, the class is after the board meeting, yes. Okay. We,
Alternative path is the last one on old business.
All right.
Right, but I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still talking about the travel meeting. So I'm gonna stop talking about that because I don't talk about it. So, I mean, you all get October 4th, Newport. We got a hotel room. You got one. We talked about the ethics class. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about.
But
yeah.
Wait, did the board, so how do we get a hotel room? Is the board gonna like?
They're reserved. Yeah, we'll have Cassie email you guys out the info.
Oh, you okay? I thought you all had that information already.
Oh, no,
I'm
I was
sorry.
like, I was trying to get worried though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll make sure that you.
To do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's,
Be reserved.
but it's just a matter of whether they want a room or not, right? Or the.
Well, yeah, no, Cassie's already contacted everyone and asked.
That's what I thought.
Nice.
Didn't you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. So
But that was months ago.
right. But did you answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever your answer is taken care. Oh, you just want to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Right.
Make sure it happens.
Right. So whatever you responded to Cassie with, that's already been arranged.
Okay, great.
So that's the report out on that.
And even our new board members?
Yeah.
Say again?
Even our new board members?
Yes, even the new board members, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, Cassie is, she's amazing. Yeah. So she's got that taken care of. So, all right.